Hey, everybody. This is Mike Bruce with Life Starts with Food Health Coaching. And you haven't seen me for a while or any guests because I've been, there's been a lot of stuff happening. So I've just been kind of taking it easy. But my plan is with the new year to really kick this off again, much more consistently again, like I did at the beginning of last year, and possibly even have sponsors that I like, people I love. I already talk about things I love anyways, but I wouldn't mind making a buck or two on the time I put in and sharing the things that I actually truly do feel make a difference. This is a lot of chest, huh? Shy.
It's a lot. Did you
barely even had a drink yet?
Did you not know that when you were doing that? Well, I thought that was intentional.
It wasn't totally intentional. It was intentional because I like showing chest, but I only got one half quarter drink in me, so I should probably wait until I drink a little bit more for that.
I kind of thought like the Fu Manchu required more chest to be showing.
So that is probably accurate. So I appreciate that.
I'm not supporting. I'm just saying.
Terrific. By the way, the picture that I had for this for the Facebook Live post was you and I'm like out of focus for some reason. Come on, camera. It was you and I in Spain at the place where they did the dancing in the mountainside.
Oh, flamenco
dancing. And it was Spain, and something magical happens in Spain, and you can just drink all the time and not really know that you're drinking. And so it was a picture of you like fake flamenco dancing while we were just sitting there.
Oh.
We took a lot of pictures before they made us shut the phones off.
You did not want to go to that.
Oh, no, I did not at all.
I really wanted to go, and you did not want to go. And I think it was pretty cool.
It was really cool, but it was still like what you expect with the random like screaming and
like the howling
and like lots of clapping from the people dancing. Like, you don't clap for yourself. So this is titled, Kim, I think I titled it Christmas Morning Breakfast Cocktails with Kim.
Christmas Eve morning, hopefully.
Thank you. Christmas Eve morning breakfast cocktails. So with that said, what are we drinking?
You made it. I don't know, but cheers. I'm the worst at this. There we go. We're going to call that a day and say that I did it.
So it's real basic. We use your favorite scotch, which is the Glenlivet.
Yep.
Which I never knew that it was called the Glenlivet, not Glenlivet.
I feel like that's wrong.
Glenlivet. It sounds so much cooler. So we used a bunch of Glenlivet.
Or Levitt. Livet or Levitt?
Livet.
So I don't know how you actually say it.
Glenlivet. And then it's Glenlivet, a bunch of coffee. And then it called for chocolate syrup and simple syrup. So what I did was I took honey and water and combined those together with cocoa powder and made a simple syrup. So that was like it. And then I shook it up. It's supposed to actually be hot, and that's gross to me. A lot of hot cocktails are nasty.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Yeah, so we didn't do that.
It's good though. The coconut milk, like the canned coconut cream on top is like.
Yeah, we did that. So, and I have a cocktail pre-made for when we're done with this, because morning cocktails, there's an S. It's not, no one says, let's have a morning cocktail. That's weird. So.
And it's 2020. So it's like, I mean.
Most people are 5 down already.
I mean, it's 11. We're doing pretty good to have our first cocktail now.
Right? We're really.
Day drinking is my favorite.
Day drinking or morning drinking?
More day. I mean, like, I really don't want like a right away morning cocktail, but.
So my reasoning for loving morning cocktails is because. Still there? No. There we go.
I would say it. Okay, I'm here. I don't know what happened.
We're back. So that's never happened before. So the reason I love a morning cocktail, it only happens like once or twice a year on super special occasions, which should happen more than that, really. And then you're able to have a day cocktail, like day drinking as well. So morning drinks, day drinks. You're able to do 2 of our favorite things in the same day.
You know what I don't understand? People get real judgy about having a cocktail like before, I don't know, like 9 a.m. But but if you're drinking a mimosa, that's like accepted.
Oh yeah. Or if you're staying up till 4 a.m. 3 days a week and drinking, that's acceptable. Like I'll take sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep for 100, Bob. Like it's not Bob.
Who's Bob?
I don't know. Chris Ferguson says, "Good morning, Bruce family."
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ferguson. Should we talk about the thing that everybody wants to know about?
I don't think people really want to know about it.
My Christmas sweater. So this is a woman's sweater. It's a vest.
It's good.
So
Mike fits into most of my clothing, so it works out well.
What about your tights they put on the other day?
I bought these like jean legging things, and I was a little upset that Mike fit in them. But anyways, So when I buy sweaters at Goodwill, I know that Mike can just rock it as well.
Sorry about the slurping, but it's like I hit the button on the thing.
I have a nice Christmas sweater on that I found. You're not even looking at my sweet sweater.
I am now.
And then these leggings match perfectly.
They do match, real nice.
I didn't even buy them together.
I saw a picture of me and we were getting ready for a Christmas thing the other like last year, the year before, and I had one of my favorite Christmas ties. It's just flannel. It's kind of like this. I have underwear that perfectly match it. So I didn't have pants on. I just had my underwear on, my tie, my vest, and we had a picture of that for some reason. But let's be honest though, everybody wants to know how they can get a Christmas foo. And that's what I was really hinting at earlier, was the Christmas foo. And what a Christmas foo is, you ask? It's this. So it's just a Christmas Fu Manchu, guys. It's you got to make the holidays special. So I'm sick of wearing dumb hats that they're only so special. So you got to start changing things up. I don't have kids yet to like tease and make embarrassed. So I make my nieces laugh with the Fu Manchu.
I mean, you have a wife to embarrass.
Yeah, but you don't like this. They do. So the difference, if you don't know what a Fu Manchu is, it's a goatee minus the bottom. So like every Kung Fu movie you've ever watched, they all have Fu Manchus. Hiya karate. So let's get on with what we want to talk about, because we have been crushing some Netflix Christmas movies.
Yeah, and
like, what did we watch last night, Kim?
So I can't even believe that you watched this, and I fell asleep for more of it than I watched, probably.
Kim falls asleep. It'll be 3 p.m. We'll watch like Gladiator, and Kim will fall asleep in the middle of every action scene. Right as soon as it slows down, she wakes up. Matt makes a good point here, though, about hats. Never underestimate a good dumb hat.
Well, we have bags of good dumb hats, that's for sure. So don't worry, Matt. We got them. Okay, so we've been watching previews, and my new favorite thing is for Mike to read the synopsis out loud to me because it's so funny. But Netflix has a whole like romantic comedy Christmas section. So what we settled on, and again, I can't believe that Mike even went for this, was The Night Before Christmas, but night, like knight in shining armor with what's her name? I want to say Vanessa Hudgens, but is that?
Oh no. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens.
Okay. So apparently that's like what she does now, because she's got like switched Christmas movies. Then there's 3 of her, and then I don't know. But this Christmas like genre, it's impressive.
We watched Noelle the other day, and like, don't tell our buddy Vic, but because he's like a Star Wars guy that's mad that every Star Wars thing is now women instead of men. And he's like, I just get so sick of this. But I don't want to spoil Noelle, but like the main character is a lady, and she is Kris Kringle's daughter. So like some great antics happen, and that's Anna Kendricks. Kendricks.
It's not Jimi Hendrix. I don't know.
I love everything she does. Everything. Yeah. She's like so much fun.
Yeah, she's the same like weird, quirky character.
I'm talking over you. I apologize.
That's okay. Sorry.
You were saying.
I'm going to talk. Okay. I was saying she's the same weird, like quirky character and everything, but it's like in a cute way.
Yeah. Different levels of her quirky.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so yeah, anyways, this Christmas night, a night before Christmas.
Yes. It was actually pretty good.
I dug it. I never saw that guy before.
No. And we've definitely watched worse movies in general.
Oh my goodness. Box office movies. 100 worse movies. Christmas movies come out so much better than box office movies. So they're like, how hard is it?
So what is your favorite Christmas movie? Like legit.
Noelle's up there.
I thought it was really good.
I mean, liked it a lot.
I always like Elf just because makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But Christmas Vacation, I laugh so hard. And his whole spiel when he goes off and like just freaks out on his whole family, it like shouldn't be heartwarming. And I'm like, I love this. It's hysterical. It's like so spot on with what every single person goes through at Christmas. And I love it. But then I don't think you like this, but I also love the Muppet Christmas Carol.
So I have a special place in my heart for different Muppet movies that are just terrible. Because a really good friend, Travis, used to come over. It was like 2 or 3 Christmases in a row. He wanted to come over and watch Christmas movies. And I'm like, awesome, man. Like, you know, Rudolph's great. Let's do that. And he came over and I can't remember the name of it, but it's
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I think that's what it is.
Otter. It was one of the worst and best Christmas movies ever. So, hello, Lori.
It's puppets, right?
Look at that picture.
Oh, hey, Lori. Thanks. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. And it was Emmett Otter. It was like this little otter that had to make his way down the river. And I don't know what for, but somehow he saved Christmas or he ruined Christmas.
He doesn't. I don't think he ruins it. It's not Ernest. Oh, wait, no. Ernest.
Band Snake. What's that?
Did Ernest save Christmas or ruin Christmas?
I mean, Ernest ruined everything. So he ruined my middle name for sure.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
So
like, I would say that some of the Christmas movies we've watched this year, I've really dug, and it's like hard to. I always love Rudolph and the old claymation Rudolph. You know, how do you not like that? It's just so much fun. I was never a huge fan of Charlie Brown of any sorts. He just annoyed me. There was just mean people in that show, and I didn't like it. It gave off a bad vibe, and I didn't understand what that was. So, but a night before Christmas, Lori says, "Red boots for Christmas." What is that? Lori, you're going to have to add a lot more to this.
I don't know what that is. We need details.
So, what was I just saying? I needed more cocktail, huh?
What were you just saying? We were talking about.
We just lost 5 people right there.
Charlie Brown, and they're mean.
Oh, Charlie Brown. I think Charlie Brown is mean. Or not Charlie Brown. He's a sweetheart, but all of his friends were mean, or at least that one.
The girl.
Dumb-haired girl.
What's her name?
Meanie McDumbhair. I never liked her. She was so rough. Like, let's pull a football out from under a kid and hurt him, you know? It's silly.
It's not funny.
But, so Die Hard. Die Hard, only because it's hilarious that it's a Christmas movie, is one of my favorite Christmas movies. And I'm not like a massive Die Hard fan. I just think it's hilarious. So... But no, I really do like. It's odd that I really like the Christmas genre.
Yep.
Lori, you'll have to message me or give me a call later, Lori, if you want. Because this is going to be. We don't want to talk about that kind of stuff today. We want to talk about drinking at breakfast time and travel.
And eating bacon.
Yeah, definitely reach out to me. Reach out to me, Lori, online. Or you have my number. I can't remember, but we'll get in contact and talk about this later. So to help out with some of that. So because I just had some dental surgery too, and it was the first time in like years and years and years that I took actual pain medicines. So anyway, any more Christmas stuff that we're going to talk about? Christmas movies. The quote from the movie that was like, for a guy in the alternative medicine field, I say that loosely because I don't practice. I'm not a doctor. So like I consider doctors who actually practice alternative medicine the people that are doing the real job, the real stuff for the most part. But there's a lot of alternative care that people do. So something that was said in the Christmas night or a night before Christmas, it was
get it right, man.
I get it right. It was something. This is paraphrased, but so not a spoiler at all. It's the basis of the movie. He's from the 1300s, and to fulfill his quest as a knight, to become a knight, he has to travel in time for some weird reason. So, like maybe no other time in history could he find the right woman for him. So that's why this crone sends him to the future. That's the only loophole in the movie, I swear. And so he comes to the future, and he's explaining to Vanessa Hudgens why he's in the future and that he is in the future. And she's like kind of trying to believe him. And he says, just because you don't understand how something can happen doesn't make it impossible. Something along those lines.
Yeah. And Mike was like, pause it.
It's like,
we have to ponder this.
Holy boogers, is that a great statement? Like, but as Americans, we just believe wholeheartedly that if all the people on TV tell us it's not possible, that it's not possible. What in the world? We're the country that went to the moon, guys. We went to the moon in a few short years.
Did we? No, I'm kidding. Joke.
I didn't. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh crap. People are going to be like, we did not. And like, here's the thing. I wasn't there. I don't know if it happened, guys. I think it did.
Anyways, I'm just kidding.
But like,
sidetrack.
If I wasn't there to prove that it happened, I don't know if it really happened. That goes for anything. Like there's a lot of proof you can get with science. That's totally different. A lot of proof you can get with being there or not being there. So, I don't know.
So basically, our discussion is time travel possible?
I was just saying for anything. Like, just because homeopathy doesn't make sense and can't be proven by science doesn't mean homeopathy can't work.
Right.
Because here's the thing, like, if you just take a red light device and put it over your stomach, now there's a lot of science behind the red light devices. But somebody who has never heard of the science behind it, or knows it's been studied a bunch, and they look at that and they go, wow, you're just putting a red light bulb on your belly. Why would that help your digestion? Well, it certainly does. And you could do it time after time to a ton of people, and they know it works. So that's the kind of stuff is like, just because we don't have the science to study homeopathy properly does not mean it doesn't work.
Well, here's a better example.
Okay.
And here's what every Christmas movie is going to quote, right? So let's not talk about nerdy health stuff, right? Every Christmas movie is going to say, you can't see love. Does that mean it doesn't exist? That's what you got to, right? You can't
prove that anger exists.
Gratitude, right? So
Kim.
I know. I got it.
That's why I had you on here today.
Nailed it.
So, the Beaties. They said Lucy is the mean girl.
Lucy.
What? Lucy is the mean girl? Is that a movie or is it Lucy?
No, from Charlie Brown.
Lucy's the mean girl from Charlie Brown.
Mike, your brain.
So, everyone who lives in Ohio, if you're having a morning cocktail, if you don't like cocktails, a morning beer, which I'm not a fan of beer because of the gluten and the grains and all that stuff, but the Beaties run a place called Numbers Brewing, and from what I understand, it is absolutely terrific. So superb. And they're growing leaps and bounds, which is super cool. I love seeing people find success in something they love. It is so much fun. And they're just terrific parents aside from that. So I also love seeing people that are great parents. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, Lorianne says, Red Boots Christmas is about a little queen girl that is snobby and wants everything, and a shoemaker wants to make a special gift. She makes red boots and gives them to the poor little girl. I thought she was a queen. It's on Amazon Prime, so.
We'll have to look it up.
But it used to play on one of the Christmas stations, so that's cool.
We added like 3 things to our Netflix saved list last night. I should have looked up what they were because they were so obscure. Wait, what was the one with the aliens? They were called like kleptos because they like to steal things.
Yeah, it's like a new Brunch, I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tasha, Peppermint Patty, and then Lucy. Are they all Charlie Brown people?
Well, Peppermint Patty is. I don't know who's Tasha?
I don't know. I think they're messing with us now. How far are you on your cocktail, Kim?
I'm not that far.
I'm almost far. So
all right, what are we going to talk about?
Let's move on from the Christmas stuff, because last night Kim and I were just standing around in the kitchen like we always do, and we started talking. Oh, Tasha Beatty.
What?
Landon Beatty Racing. Yeah, it's Tasha.
We're like, Tasha from Charlie Brown?
I'm really bad with names. As soon as I saw Beatty, I was like, I know that. Sorry, Tasha.
Man. Guy.
She's one of my favorite people, too. She really is. I am just so bad with names. So we were standing around talking last night, and that's when we decided we were going to do a little cocktail breakfast. And we woke up this morning, and Kim was just like, sounded so much more fun last night when we had a cocktail in us. And then we have cocktails.
I don't know about a cocktail right now. It's 9 a.m.
Lori's doing watermelon wine for tonight. That sounds fun.
Ooh.
So we just started rambling off. I mean, we have tons of conversations where it's 2 of us, like one of us sitting on the island, one of us sitting on the counter. We don't use chairs for some reason. And like, we'll just start going off. And I'm always thinking we should just write this stuff down. So I started writing it all down. But we were talking about like the random solo travel we've done apart from each other, not necessarily solo, but just not with each other. And Kim has always had weird intuition when I've traveled places. And like I've been to Honduras a couple times in some sketchy areas. Like, I don't know, like you go to Detroit, you get in sketchy areas too. So, and Kim's always felt pretty chill and pretty calm about that. And then when I went to Salt Lake City with a couple friends one time, she was like nerve-wracked over it, and was really nervous about the whole situation. And last night I kind of let her know some of what actually happened there. We were trying to hike a mountain, and there was a bad storm the week before, but you know, we were $1,000 in a piece. We couldn't just back out. We still wanted to go. It was really dumb dangerous if we would have ignored safety signs, you know, and like Kim just picked up on all that, and she was super nervous the whole first day we were there. And then she like didn't care after that, because after that we had given up on our pursuit of getting up the mountain, I guess. But it's just neat the amount of times just throughout our life in general that you have these weird intuition, like weird, you just know, when something's wrong, whether you're there or not. And it's really cool.
So, I mean, we're super nerdy now with energy, right? And connection and things like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I always think it's a God thing, right? It's God that gives us that intuition. But I think when you're just, I mean, I'm sure moms feel this way all the time about their kids or whatever. Like you have that energetic connection with somebody. So even if they're not next to you, you can feel something, right? And I think that's why like the stories you hear about moms, like their kids are like halfway around the world and they're like, I woke up with this horrible feeling or whatever the case is. Or like, I just want to call you because I'm like, I don't know, I'm just really excited to talk to you. Something good happening, you know, like you hear all that kind of stuff. And I think it's just that we kind of forget to tap into that, or we've never been encouraged to nurture that intuitive side.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it comes naturally to you or it doesn't, but we don't ever do anything to kind of encourage it in people or kids or whatever. So it's interesting.
Most of the time people don't even know it's happening. So
right.
When and like, let's be honest, as Christians, if you are trying to listen to the Holy Spirit, how do you think the Holy Spirit's talking to us? Energetically. So if you are a Christian who thinks energy is this dangerous woo-woo scary thing, you need to look at the Bible. you need to reread the Bible and really take a deep dive and figure out if that's accurate. Because how in the world do you think we're supposed to talk to, get answers from whatever, from a God that is not physically living on this plane, but energetically on this plane? How are we how else do you describe it? He's just here spiritually? Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. But what other way to describe it other than energetically? There's not too many other things in the English vocabulary that we can use to explain that. So,
how many times does something happen and you just feel this energy or whatever? And I think the more you get used to that, like I know now, I'm like, wow, that's the Holy Spirit. Like, that's so cool. But I feel like, just real quick, a cool example is like anytime at church we've ever done like laying of hands, like when kids are going off to college and stuff, and somebody at the beginning puts a hand on, and then you go all the way down the line and people all the way in the back, you're all touching each other, right? And then you're praying over somebody and you can literally feel like, it's like you feel this energy because it's the Holy Spirit running through all of us, and you're all so concentrated on something, and it's just so cool.
What do you think tingles up your spine is? What do you think a shiver is when there's no reason to shiver? What do you think these things are? These are cues the body's giving you that it's picking up on things. We just go, nah, I just had a shiver. I was in the moment. I was this or that. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, this is a real thing happening. This is the coolest thing ever. We have this ability to tap into these answers if we just pay attention. And I have never, obviously, if I had the ability to like call 100 people at one time, I'd find out that when my ear starts ringing, and you always heard that the old wives' tale of like your ears ringing, someone's talking about you. Mm-hmm. I've literally, whoever popped into my head a couple different times now, I've called them and like, hey, were you just talking about me? And sure enough, it has been accurate like 2 of the 3 times. So that's energy.
And you know what I'm waiting for?
What's that?
I'm waiting for the old wives' tale of when your palm is itchy, you're going to get money. Like, that hasn't happened yet.
My palm used to be itchy so much. I never heard that one. But it was,
really?
I was allergic to chlorine, I think, and we'd go swimming every day.
That's a little different. An allergy is a little different. But...
Son of a gun. So, to move on from the energy thing, because we could talk on that for an hour, and we do with people all the time, because I think it's so interesting. Do you? Well, it would still be energetic stuff, but like when you've done your own solo trip, so like you've been to St. Louis for work, and I was actually nervous for you when you were there, but you just loved St. Louis. Yeah, and you were totally alone. Talk a little bit about that, like, because my energy was like, you need to stay in your hotel, and your energy was like, no, I need to go see the city and travel around, and you did all kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I really can't remember how long ago it was, but it was pretty.
Going, do you need another cocktail refill?
Not yet.
Okay.
Just because you're a lush doesn't mean that I am.
Well, I got it made, and we are in the same house, guys. I like the setup. I like the 2 windows here.
All right, let me be quick then, because I feel like, as usual, we're rambling. But anyways, okay. So I don't remember how long ago it was, but it's impressive to me that I had any desire to even leave my hotel room, because I feel like I've gotten a lot more adventurous over the years. And at that time, I wouldn't have really considered myself that adventurous. But it was not my first solo trip, but one of the first where I had to get like a rental car and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I drove all around the city. I went to the Arch. I went up in the Arch by myself. I found really good, like authentic barbecue that was on the outskirts of town, and went there. And it was one of those places that, they make it, and whenever they run out, they run out. So I wanted to make sure I got there to try it. And I don't know. I just really liked it. I liked the vibe of the city. The drivers were so nice because, of course, I'm not from there. And I was always in the wrong lane, and I was always having to get over like at the last minute. And that's the kind of stuff that usually stresses me out, because you're usually the one who drives in other cities. So I don't know. It was just like, it was really cool and I liked it. And I wish I would have had more time because I think they have really cool museums and like I would have gone and done that kind of stuff. So I don't know, but you were worried about me and I was like having a good old time. So I don't know. But also I feel like the worry of like a husband for a wife is a little different. Like I'm by myself in a hotel by myself going into like, I don't know. I think there's just different concern in certain ways, you know?
Yeah, certainly. And that's probably where mine isn't so much as an intuition as it is just protection. Yours is both, which is really cool. Yeah. Yours is like a warning signal. And I fully trust it. Like I really just do, because you've gotten so good with it without even knowing. Like every vacation we've ever been on, it was just a feeling you had. And it turned out to be like we would meet. We have met friends on every vacation that we will have forever. That's it. Like I keep telling people, why the heck would we go to the Czech Republic? That it's just like I don't even understand anything about the Czech Republic. Even still, people love Prague, and I'm like, it was so Prague. But the Czech in general was an awesome place.
Yeah.
And like but because of the trip, we got to make contact with and actually hang out with Melissa Joulwan from what's her cookbook? Well Fed. It's a paleo cookbook, and she's multiple cookbooks and stuff. Like those are the kind of things that happen because Kim just has a feeling about where we're supposed to go. So it's just so. So since I have you on here, we're going to take another little turn. And I do want to say we've been to Texas this year, and about friendly drivers. Texas drivers are incredibly friendly, but they also do not accelerate from a stop sign. Like, what's your thoughts on their driving?
They're just slow. I mean, like it's slow on the get-go, right? Like you said, like accelerating, pulling out, turning off, really slow. But anyways, I feel like we don't need to go on about this.
They always leave amazing space in between everybody, though. It's really cool. So you always have ability to get in and out of lanes. So, we were talking last night about relationships and some of the things that really make it hard for couples. Like something that you've said that was a huge impact on our relationship that I saw happen in you, and I didn't even know it was going on, was you said when you realized that you being happy was not my responsibility. Like your happiness was not my responsibility. When you realized that, because that was back when I was I had like one job that was a part-time job. I was working in the evenings and I was like playing video games all day. And so go ahead and talk about that some if you want.
I don't know. I think it was relatively early in our marriage, but we dated for 8 years before we got married. So we had been together for a while then. I don't really know what clicked, but it was early and I felt like I was working my tail off and maybe you weren't so much. And that had me very frustrated because I'm thinking I'm going to work, I'm doing this, I'm doing the grocery shopping, all this kind of stuff. But at some point I started to evaluate, okay, so I'm mad about going to work or whatever the case is, but I like my job. Like there's nothing for me to be unhappy about because I like my job. I like the work I'm doing. It's impactful. And the things that I'm doing because I want to do them. And it's not because you're not doing them or whatever the case is, right? So I don't know, somewhere it clicked to me just that if I'm not happy as to the core as a human, right? It's not your job to make me happy. Like it's not your spouse's job to do that. Now, should like you complement each other and should you try to make each other happy and do things for each other? Yeah, sure, great, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I should not rely on you solely to provide my true happiness, right? And I feel like I've talked to a lot of friends about this and people who just kind of bounce from relationship to relationship and they're just not happy with themselves and nobody's going to do that for you. And so, like find your joy in whatever way you need to do it, and find someone who complements that, right? And you want somebody to do those things for you. But at the end of the day, if you're not happy, your partner's not going to fix that void for you. So you need to do what you need to do to get to that point, or you need to get rid of all these preconceived notions about what everybody else has or how it's better than you, and truly evaluate your life and think about like, okay, wait, maybe I'm not unhappy. You know, like I'm just comparing myself to others. So I don't know what point that happened, but something clicked in my brain.
And that's something else as well, that like, if you at all times are looking to other couples and saying, well, they do this or that, and my spouse doesn't, and like, well, I would be happy if they did do this or that. Like, you're always going to be upset with your spouse. Then you're always going to be disappointed if at all times you're looking at other people's spouses to tell you what yours is supposed to be doing. Right. So, and we kind of talked about how just like things that happen in families as you're growing up is part of what made you think that I should have been doing something all day long, like whether it was amounting to anything or not. And it's kind of like that feeling that we grew up in households that like, if you're not doing something, then you're doing something wrong. Like if you're not actively working all day long, fixing something, making something nice around the house, doing this or that, if you're not doing that, you're doing something wrong. So, and even
I mean, both of our dads worked all day long and then came home and worked all night long at home, right? So it's like you don't realize it, but you're observing this, and it's just like, you know, from my perspective at least, then the assumption is like that's what a male does. He works all day and he comes home and he works on stuff at night, you know? So then you have this expectation, and when it's not met, there's this weird internal thing that happens, and you're trying to figure out, you know, is this wrong? Is this right? Should they be doing something? So it's interesting.
And Lori brought up a good thing too. So she says when she worked out of the home, she didn't like herself, and she wasn't happy because she felt like she couldn't be the mom and the wife she wanted to be. And that kind of makes sense. You've said this whole year, like you like working from home, it seems like, but you miss the commute, that 25 minutes where you got to be alone, to decompress, to call your sister, call your mom, and to split the responsibility from work to the responsibility from home life.
Yeah, it's like the shut off that my brain needs to be able to separate, right? Like, because, and I've tried really hard to not bring work home with me, but now work is home with me. So it's a lot different. But that was like that 25 minutes I could be quiet. I could listen to the radio. I could talk to somebody, but it was like a shift for my brain. And now I shut the computer off and then go and start dinner, or go and start cleaning, or go and start the laundry or whatever. So it is hard because I think the brain needs that pause. Yeah.
Maybe like go down and like it's winter right now, so do 10 minutes on the treadmill. I mean, it sucks that the treadmill is so noisy or whatever, you know, like I like quiet things. I like relaxing things, but making that part of the end of your day, no matter what. And even just as little as 10 minutes of reflection where it's not just sitting still, because that's kind of hard reflection. Sitting still, not doing anything, that kind of doesn't do it for me. I don't know what necessarily works for you, but I know being able to have that in between periods. So that might be something in the future. So
I should just get in the car and go for a drive.
Yeah.
I'm done with work. I'm going for a drive.
So, and then the last thing we kind of wanted to talk about, planned pregnancies versus pregnancies that, you know, no baby's an accident, but babies are definitely oopsies.
Surprises.
So planned pregnancies versus unplanned. We thought this was super cool because when we look across friends and family, and we could be totally wrong on this, it's just the few people that we are thinking of. When we look across their kids, it seems like the kid that was planned versus the kids that were oopsies, the kid that's planned is healthier. They are maybe leaner or less allergies or less food problems.
They're different, right? Like in some way, they're just different.
Less food addiction, right? Like weird, like stuff that this may not be anything. I don't know, but it could be something really cool. I want you to talk about this a little bit. I'm going to go mix I'm going to go pour a cocktail that we have pre-poured.
You gonna leave me by myself?
Yeah, keep talking.
Oh, he makes it so weird. So hopefully he'll be quick. So we were just, our random musings. I was just thinking about it. I was just curious what people's thoughts would be, or maybe if there was any research that was ever done on this, right? Because I would assume there's different kind of energy involved when you are planning for a child. But then again, there could also be more stress behind it because there's more pressure because you are planning. I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting. I don't know if there's been any studies done about this, but if a child has been planned for, are they healthier? Do they have different? What are we doing?
I'm just pouring a cocktail.
Is that mine or yours?
This is for you to keep. And then I'll walk into... You barely have cocktail left. Come on. Morning brunch cocktails.
Oh my goodness, you guys. All right, hopefully he's going back into his little orange sphere. Side note, how orange is that room? Guys, that's really orange. It's not so orange. It's so orange that during the day it looks like the light is on, or that the sun is like shining through his office into the hallway, and it's just how orange it is. It's just that orange.
I disagree. It's perfectly orange. So, Lori was saying that I love Lori because she is so active on our conversations, and it's just a lot of fun to have somebody that it's like that. So she was an unplanned baby, an oopsie. Interesting. She's more loving and caring than her brother was that was planned. So that's something. And some
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Some of the kids we talked about, they are incredibly loving.
Yeah, I just think it's a very interesting, the whole discussion, because I would like to hear other people's opinions just to see, and maybe there's no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever, right? Yeah. There really might not be.
And how do you systemize this study even, like across all loving parents? That's a very subjective statement. Like,
how do you, right?
I have 100 sets of loving parents that had both planned and unplanned pregnancies. That like that'd be a really hard study to make out. Like it is just very subjective. So
yeah. What define what a loving parent is?
Yeah.
Define,
also like, okay, did they have like a babysitter that was mean or loving? Did they have, there's 100 variables every moment of a life. So
I don't know. You were planned, right? Or we don't know.
I was told I was planned by both of my parents, and I was told that neither of my brothers were planned. So,
I mean, there's a distinct difference.
Yeah. And I know my sister was not planned. So,
I was supposedly planned, but I don't know. But even that, if that's the case, like say we were both planned, we are very different in the way we handle things emotionally.
I don't know that we are. I mean, we are, but we're not. I don't know.
I don't know. It's interesting. So let us know what you think, guys.
Female and I'm a male. So
I don't know. We both like bacon a lot, though.
We love bacon.
And we like day drinking.
Love day drinking.
So maybe that's what we should be doing our research on. Do planned babies like day drinking more so than unplanned babies?
Of course, because we're more normal and stable. So Sarah says, all 4 of my kids were planned. I don't see any correlation. My little sister and I were surprised the middle was planned, but honestly, interesting. So, and Lori makes a good comment. Not our plan, it's God's plan. So,
well, that I know. Yeah, right.
So I guess technically we were all planned, right? So,
that's what's funny, because then when we were talking about that, and I started thinking of it this morning, I was like, oh, well, Jesus wasn't planned. Oh, give me a second. From Mary's perspective, okay, right? So Mary was like, whoa, what the hey, man? But then she's like, all right, God, I trust you. But he was clearly planned in the eyes of God, and we're all planned in the eyes of God, right? So is there, man, we're getting into it. Is there such thing as an unplanned pregnancy?
No, there's not. But I was also going to say, Jesus died young too. So he didn't even make it to a full life. So maybe being planned was not healthy for him. Guys, I know my Bible. I know he died on the cross.
Blasphemy.
I know how he died. It's just a good joke turned bad, I guess.
Not really good.
It wasn't good. How's the cocktail?
It's stronger than the first one, or just the flavor is stronger.
It's slightly different. So we added port wine to this one, and added port wine. I threw some spices in there, and they were too strong, so we actually poured it through a metal coffee pour over filter to get rid of some of those. But yeah.
So let's put a bow on this. What else do we want to talk about? Because I have to make cinnamon rolls.
Oh, you got cinnamon rolls to make, and I got some presents to wrap. Do you want to do this real fast?
Sure.
Okay. So we did this once before on here, guys, and people, honestly, really dug it, which makes me happy because I really dig it. And we've missed a couple days here, so I'll move ahead. So this is just our devotional called A Little God Time for Couples. A Little God Time for Couples. So it just has a verse, has a little talking point, it has questions and a prayer. So, and for those of you who think this is blasphemic to drink cocktails in the morning while doing a devotional, everybody's got their opinion. So
it's almost noon. It's fine.
Almost noon. So, but honestly, like if you ever want to talk about my beliefs and thoughts on that, I'm happy for you to reach out to me and we can discuss things. I won't even charge you. So, as a health coach, you got to charge everybody. Kim, stop it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so, so the verses for today, it's titled Spiritual Traditions. The verse is Second Thessalonians 2:15, and I'll probably read through this 2 or 3 times. So, stand firm and hold to the traditions that you were taught by us, either by our spoken word or by our letter. 2 Thessalonians 2:15. Stand firm and hold to the traditions that you were taught by us, either by our spoken word or by our letter. Do I need to read that again, Kim?
One more.
Stand firm and hold to the traditions that you were taught by us, either by our spoken word or by our letter. So either by communication or through letters. That would be something that Paul did a lot with the Corinthians, for instance, did a lot of that. Heck, he might have wrote Thessalonians for all I know. I'm so bad at who wrote what. So here's the part that is the discussion part. So traditions are a great thing. Those kinds of memories bind our hearts together, whether it's bike rides down the beach, particular foods that you serve because grandma used to make them, or having blueberry muffins by candlelight for the first day of school. Interesting.
Who does that?
Didn't know about that. But those traditions are even better when they impact our faith. Maybe you read the Christmas story together on Christmas Eve. Perhaps you pray together on New Year's Eve, asking for God's blessing for the year ahead. Or you write a letter to your son about what it means to be a man of God. Or you mark all of your family's favorite Bible verses in the gift of a Bible for a newborn. That's something my dad does. If you're ever blessed enough to be gifted a Bible from my dad, I mean, he's from a long line of Bible gifters, and he just does the coolest stuff in them that opens your eyes to who he is as a man, as well as God's plans for him and just how he's supposed to live his life daily. So, anyways, the important thing is that we pay attention to those words, letters, and events that have shaped us as Christians and as husbands and wives. Those will help us stand firm in our faith and strengthen our marriage and our homes. What spiritual traditions do you have together? What new traditions could you implement? New traditions, I like Christmas Eve morning, day drinking, podcasting.
I knew you were going to say that.
I really like that as a new tradition. And as spiritual traditions, though, we do always, as a kid growing up, we would, I think we waited till midnight, but I can't remember. It couldn't have been. We were so young. But we would sing Happy Birthday to Jesus every year. And I didn't know any other family that did that until I got older. And I ended up a lot of my friends that I've met over the years do that. So, but yeah, it's, that's like an old one I did, but we always go to church on Christmas Eve. And then we always just spend time with family, which is how do you get more spiritual than spending time with family?
Real quick, because I always thought this is really funny. I mean, we don't have kids yet, but when our church did like a Dave Ramsey, I was going to say Dave Asprey.
Dave Ramsey. Yeah.
They did a Dave Ramsey, financial class, right? There was a couple in there, and we were talking about Christmas presents and kids and like how you can go overboard so easily. And I seriously thought this was the funniest thing. They were like, Jesus got 3 presents. You guys aren't any better than Jesus. You're not getting any more than 3 presents. And I thought it was so funny. And that always like stuck with me. And then I'm like, whenever we have kids, like they're not getting any more than 3 presents. Like,
here's the thing. If you wanted to cut out all presents for me and give me frankincense, myrrh, and gold, I'll take it. I'll just take, I mean, you could switch up the gold to Bitcoin if you want. I'll take either one of them.
Frankincense, Bitcoin, and myrrh. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So we could probably, I'm sure whenever we have kids, like it's kind of lame that it takes having kids to do certain things, right? But like with just the 2 of us, it's just different. But I'm sure we'll implement, I will probably sing Happy Birthday to Jesus. I mean, you guys were doing that at your Aunt Betsy's house when I was around, when I was 15. Yeah. And so I remember and there was a birthday cake. Like it wasn't even just you sang it. Like there was a birthday
we
cake.
Had a birthday cake. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And I was, like I said, I was probably 15 or 16. So you were like 18, right? Yep. And Aunt Betsy pulled the cake out and there were candles on it. And we sang Happy Birthday to Jesus. And like, that was my first time ever experiencing that. And I didn't think it was weird. I was like, wow, this is really cool because that's what we're celebrating, right? So I think that stuff is important to just bring it back around, right? Whenever you have kids, especially.
And outside of that, I don't remember my family ever reading the Bible or anything on Christmas because now as a family, we didn't like sit down and read the Bible all that much, but throughout the day, like my mom would tell me, like when I was a kid, she would read me Bible stories and things, and my dad would do the same. But like we didn't ever do that as a family all that much, but we were always a family that was somehow in the Bible, if that makes sense. Like we were like, I knew we were doing things on a daily basis that were for God. We just weren't sitting down and reading the Bible together. That's like the odd thing that didn't happen. But we would always, as kids, ask questions and stuff. So when it came to Christmas, we didn't sit down and read through the Bible, through the Christmas story. Or anything like that. So Sarah Barbie says, a trend which has gained traction over the past few years on social media is the 4-gift rule. Parents pledge to give their offspring just 4 presents, something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
It's very wedding-esque. Something blue, something borrowed, something new.
That's cute, though. I like that.
And Lorianne said they sing Happy Birthday as well, and they have cake. The youngest one gets to blow out the candle, and we thought the same. 3 presents only. But once that baby came, that changed.
So I feel like we would stick to that, but like the grandparents are going to be loud.
But you're really good at just throwing stuff away that people hand us.
I love to throw stuff away, guys. It's like a guilty pleasure of mine.
Man, oh man.
But I feel like, okay, so Christmas is really important too. But I feel like there could be a lot more like around Easter. Like I love Easter. And I feel like the whole point of Easter is it's salvation. It's the whole reason, right? Yeah. Like it's like the crux of Christianity. And I feel like that gets lost in like Easter bunnies and baskets. So I hope whenever we have kids, like I feel like I want to do Easter up.
How weird the way Satan works.
Yeah, right.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the death of Jesus Christ all about making eggs colorful or putting weird gooey sugar in eggs that are chocolate. What? How? Or a rabbit that roars like a lion? Thanks, Cadbury. Like, how did Satan do this?
But for real, like the Easter bunny, which like I think that's maybe a benefit of COVID is like maybe you won't have to go see the Easter bunny. was the creepiest thing. I was terrified of the Easter Bunny. He had those big eyes, and they were like vents that you could see through, and you could tell there was a person underneath there. And you were like, wait, is this a bunny or a person or an alien? Right. And why am I sitting on this guy's lap? Like, this is the creepiest thing ever.
Is he supposed to be fat? Is he supposed to be skinny? I don't get this.
I don't get it. I don't know.
Did he die on the cross? I don't know.
It's very confusing.
It's so weird. Easter Bunny. It's so weird, guys. Why are we hiding eggs? I mean, maybe there is something Christian and biblical behind that. I don't think it is. So
somebody's got to know about Easter eggs on here. Tell us.
Sarah just says, all the lies are scary.
They are. They're all scary. I didn't really particularly love sitting on Santa's lap either, though.
I just didn't like weird strangers. Like, once I hit a certain age, I feel like immediately that's not Santa, even though no one's ever said a word to you that like, oh, it's all Santa's helpers, or a whole army of Santa. So
a real beard is key, though. Yeah.
And what about the A Night Before Christmas, the movie we talked about earlier on? The Santa on that one had a very short beard, very short,
and he had short hair. He didn't even look like Santa.
It worked out though.
He sat on a throne of lies.
So, do we have anything we want to finish this up with? For all of you who've been watching, thank you, because Kim is my favorite one, and honest to goodness, people stay on the longest when I have Kim on because she's so much fun to talk to, and I feel like just watching a conversation with her is like I have someone we met on a trip recently commented on a video of Kim and I, and it was like midnight and I was ready to go to bed, and I hit play on the video and I couldn't go to bed. I watched the whole thing through. So I went to bed at like 1, and I don't regret it. It was just so much fun to watch you communicate again. So
I feel like I can't believe anybody's still watching this.
No, I freaking love conversations with you, and I love watching you in this realm, like
square,
doing things, communicating back and forth. I think you're so great at it, and you don't think you are, but you are. So I want to have this happen way more often, and maybe have like a whole series of just you and I. Something I really want to do is you and I talking to other couples and asking questions, because your ability to ask questions to other couples is by far blows me out of the water. So
that would be fun. I think I need to work on my lighting so I don't look like a ghost.
Maybe that's why my orange does well for me, because I have an orange glow already. So
I just need orange.
Somebody who I'm interviewing on Monday, guys. It is one of the co-authors of the book Keto Answers, which this book has been at our doctor's office, our practice that I work for about 6 months, and I finally brought it home. So you got Anthony Gustin, who I post a lot about, and then the co-author, Chris Irvin, the ketologist. And if you guys follow any keto stuff on Facebook, you have probably run across his stuff. He is a terrifically intelligent guy, and he is so smart. Studied his MS was a full study on ketosis. Like the whole thing was all about ketosis. So the guy's he's a young dude. He's really great. I'm pretty sure he's a Christian guy based on some of the stuff I've watched with him. And I would love to interview him and his. I think they've only been married a year or two. I could be wrong. I'd love to maybe, after I interview him on Monday, reschedule for Kim and I to interview he and his wife and just talk about maybe like, do you guys both eat keto? Do you both eat similar? You and I eat pretty similar most of the time.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are you going to keep your facial hair for this interview?
We'll put it up for a vote. Do you guys make a comment if I should keep the facial hair for the video or trim this off equal? Keep in mind, there's no upper lip.
I mean, I'm not encouraging you to like fully shave it off, because Mike has had some kind of beard like for, I don't know, the past 10 years. When we got married, his cute little Southern grandma was like, Mikey, aren't you going to shave? Because he had like, his normal scruff.
Your beard for your wedding? No. But Mikey, it's your wedding day.
So he's always had something, but this Fu Manchu.
Mm.
So what cracks me up is that some people don't even notice it, and I feel like it's all I see.
Oh,
so I would really like the ladies out there to weigh in on this.
So Kelly just jumped on, I think, and I was hoping she'd be on the whole time. But it wouldn't let me. I was trying to tag certain people to be in the video, or to like tag people for the live interview, and it wouldn't let me tag her for some reason. I don't know why. So, but I would love to hear. Kelly is gonna like side with Kim. Period.
I don't know. Like, I thought Cammie was gonna laugh at you so hard. Oh, good. What is it? I hope it's in my favor.
It's an adjustment.
It is an adjustment. That is a great way to say it.
Sarah says, "Nice beard." Thank you, Sarah.
All right, Sarah. Okay. I wonder if they really can tell the difference between your.
Sarah's seen me with the full beard.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I prefer this over you with just a stash, because you are just a creepster with just a stash. So if this is our compromise, I can settle with this. But
Natasha says Brock did it for New Year's. He loved it. I liked it. You would love to hear the way Tasha. She's like you. People don't know this about Kim. She has an amazing ability to rip into an idea and just hard. And Tasha is very similar, and it's so much fun. So.
Okay, all right. I mean, I guess like the people have spoken, and maybe I like Kelly's comment. It's an adjustment.
Kelly's flying out somewhere tonight. Kelly, where are you going? And we have church at either 3, 6, or 4:30. Do you want to come to church?
I mean, we won't be home till like 11 though, because we're going to go to my mom's.
Well, she can come early.
Yeah, you can keep Jackson company.
Yeah, you can keep Jackson company for a half hour before you fly out if you want, or get yourself a coffee before you fly. Whatever, you're welcome to it.
Yeah, whatever.
We're off here. So, Kim, I love you so much.
I love you too, even with your Fu Manchu. So, wait, before we go, we have to have a good freeze frame.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to do that with the cocktail earlier.
Are we done with the cocktail? I think we need to have like a thumbs up though too.
So we'll do we do a cocktail first? And guys, this is so I can post something later.
Look at my like hitchhiker's thumb. I'm trying to make it so it's not so curvy. Like naturally it does this. And I'm trying to.
Sorry, Joe Biden thumb.
Not Joe Biden. Not Joe Biden. Who's the guy with the thumb?
Are we going to look at the camera so I have a freeze frame?
Wait, what was the guy with the thumb?
Every politician ever.
No, it was like a particular guy. I don't know. It don't matter.
George Bush would do it a lot. Al Gore, they would do thumbs up. I'm trying to think who did it, but their thumbs up weren't ever up. They were like this. Thumbs up. That's my politician laugh. So, all right.
All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching this train wreck.
Yeah. And this will probably not be made into a podcast. Maybe parts of it would. But I'm going to start pushing these out into podcasts as well, friends, so that you don't have to watch it on Facebook. You can watch it. It'll be on YouTube eventually. I have all that switching over to that. So it'll be able to be watched live in a lot of different places. Well, at least live here, but recorded in other places as well. So that's my goal for the new year. And my goal is just to make a few bucks off of sponsorships that I agree with, so that it can pay for the ability to do those things without making my life trouble.
And like, for serious though, guys, I don't know. I think Mike is really good at interviewing. Maybe our process is a little different, but I really think this is like his deal. So your support means a lot. Just you watching is really cool. So we're hoping next year he can like step it up a notch and do more podcasts and push it out to platforms. And I really think this is, part of his calling. So I I don't know. I think it's awesome. So any support that you can provide is really cool. We really appreciate it.
And something that I'm really called to is to have to help men in the Christian community to know what being manly actually is, not the weird thing that we're told manly is. And also, Kim has a calling with helping with like Choices Pregnancy Center, and I know my calling is supposed to be to help out with men who are in situations with deciding on deciding, whether or not you're supposed to abort an unborn child. And I know I'm supposed to be helping in that in some way. I'm supposed to be helping with this is a hard topic, but sex trafficking and slavery in the world today, guys. That's something that's been on my heart for years and years. I don't know how to do it without having people come around me to help me build a little group around it. So if anybody who is watching this or watches this or knows somebody that feels a call to that, let me know, because I want to make a difference in the areas that God wants me to. And it can't just be all about health, although I think that's a huge need we have in the Christian community. And I'm grateful that God, even just in the last week, has brought me someone that I didn't quite expect would be an ally in that sense, that I might start working with as a client. He's going to be one of my clients, but he has a lot of ability already in this field. And I'm really, really excited to work with him. So, I mean, God just lines things up. There's a bunch of stuff that's happened in the last 3 weeks to me that could have been perceived as really terrible things. And I'm not worried about them. They kind of gave me calm instead of giving me stress. So if things don't move forward, then I'll be stressed. So everybody, Merry Christmas so much. And thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Tasha, Sarah, Lori. Thank you as always. And Merry Christmas, Lori. And who was way further up here?
We had Matt made some comments.
Oh yeah, Matt. Matt, thanks for jumping on, man. And then Chris Ferguson. So thanks, everybody. You guys have a Merry Christmas. Yeah. And don't forget your Christmas cocktail. That's going to be a good spiritual reminder every year that you drink a Christmas cocktail before 10 a.m. on Christmas Eve.
Or a mocktail. You can make a mocktail.
Mocktails. I am not a fan of drinking around people who have drinking problems. That's one of the things we do as Christians is you support your friends and your family. So just because I'm having a drink doesn't mean that it's good for everybody. So on that note, wow. You gotta hold it longer. It gives like every 3 seconds. I have. Yeah, there we go.
Was that long enough? I can't hold it any longer.
All right, guys.
We gotta go.
It's been terrific and fun, and we will talk to everybody later. And tune in on Monday at most likely 10:30 a.m. to hear me talk to Chris. Chris Irvin. So have a great one, guys. Thanks for staying.
See ya.